Pow! What's up? Sebastian, back again. Reseller, thrifter, collector. And I'm going to do a little showcase on some of my recent art finds, object finds, and clothing finds. What we call disaster. But hopefully we can make some money from it, I suppose. And so what I'll do is I'll start with the art. I'm biased. I'm always biased. I'm supremely biased. But I've been finding some cool stuff, in my opinion. Like I said, I'm biased. So yeah, I'll start with the art here. And yeah, this first one, I love this one. So I showed my friend Michelle. She helps me with a lot of my business stuff, running things. She's clothing knower supreme. Now this is Michael Parks, just a poster, and or print. I mean, it's not actually a poster; it's a print. And I love his work. I mean, there's this lady looks so cool, and there's a freaking tiger. Surrealist 80s style, 80s, 90s. And so when I found the first piece of this artist, I showed it to Michelle, and she's like, "Oh yeah, they used to have these kind of poster and print stores like in the malls and stuff, and so I think this kind of thing was heavily carried. But the cool thing about it is it's very accessible work because it's funky, but it's like a lot of people like it, so it's very sellable. This thing, what did I pay on that? Do I still have the price? Yeah, I paid about $10.50. You could probably sell that for about $100. I will look for probably between 50 and 100. Ideally sell it on Marketplace, something local. This big ass one, I should be careful with the big ass stuff. Kiss death. But this is cool. This is oh damn, no, I didn't bust anything up. I almost did. No, this is retro, it's vintage, but it's like an old Chinese artwork, some kind of battle. And it's a fairly well-known image. This is like printed on board. But this one again, this one I picked up at 83rd Ave in Grand. I tend to like that store for art because they don't price it up too bad. This also was a little over 10. I mean, it's kind of a steal in a way. And the thing with that is, you could probably, I saw it listed for decent money online. But again, that one I'll try and sell local and pass somebody a deal, still make my money, but pass the deal to somebody. This artist, I've sold a few of their pieces. This is Valois Vigil, who was did a lot of kind of Southwestern Santa Fe sort of style modernist, Native American work. Very, very nice, very lovely. Now this is a print. Again, this one was priced. The list price was $7.99. And I paid 20% off that. And what's weird is it'd been in the store for a while, based on the tag. I'm trying to make sure things don't slip down here. They're precarious. Precariousness is just how I do things. I'm probably a bit of a mad scientist. Probably leaning more towards mad than the science than anything. But the thing with the Valois Vigil is that should sell well. So the reason I was saying I was a little surprised about the old tag on it is that I'm like, oh, I would have thought that would have sold more quickly. At $7.99 for that piece. This is cool. This is a moose. I mean, respect the mooses. I mean, the plural. You might be thinking the plural moose is meese. It's not. I'm sorry to inform you. It's actually moose. Mooses. So that's a pen and ink drawing, all that to say. And there's a signature that's slightly faded, but it's down here. This is very nice. This one, what did I pay on this? $6.50. That's a damn good deal for an original pen and ink drawing that's beautifully executed. Because the other thing with this one that I like personally, pen and ink, for me, it's like watercolor. It's like, you can't hide your hand. Like, you screw up, you screw up. And now there's certain things you can do to kind of work it out, but it's still tricky. But you got the atmospheric, like it's not as dark in the background, and that's the atmosphere of, the air creates that softer gradient for things in the further background. That's how you create atmosphere for a lot of like landscape art. You'll see that kind of dynamic. Anyways, Next. Oh, this one's cool. You know, like I'm saying, I'm so biased. I'm like, oh, they're all cool. You know? This, what the hell is this animal? I mean, who knows? No, actually, you know who knew? James Audubon. It's a Louisiana heron. You ever heard of that? I haven't. I like herons. I think they're cool. You know, I've seen night herons. I mean, I've seen the basic herons. I haven't seen the level 5 or level 100 amazing herons. I wish I had like this. If I saw this, I'd be over the moon. They'd probably call me a king in the bird watching community for having spotted such an amazing creature. Anyhow, vintage Audubon print. Now, you know, it's got some information down here, and I'm not sure if this is legit. Like, it's saying, yeah, colored by some dude in like 1834. Do I think this is from 1834? Dubious. But I might double check. I mean, it stands on its own, regardless how old it is. It's cool. For $10.50, awesome. Louisiana heron, can't go wrong. Man, that one I was legit excited for because I just thought it was so cool. And I started, you know, just thinking, oh, Louisiana herons, man, I want to see one of those. I hope they're not extinct because, you know, our dumbasses have killed a lot of creatures. So, some are not still around. Oh, look at this mirror. You can see my stack of books behind there. This is a vintage Miller High Life mirror. Very cool, you know. This one, they priced a little higher than I would have thought, but still, that's about $7.50 after the coupon. These can sell between 50 and 100. Now, and I can't even give you an estimate on like the Audubon because I got no clue. I mean, what, $1 million? But what will I actually realize? No clue. But, you know, the floor on that's so good. I try, when I pick up things, I try and calculate on, you know, okay, best case scenario. I mean, best case scenario is not always going to happen. It's not always going to be an original artwork or print that you might have initially thought. So I try and think, okay, so even if it's not what I'm hoping it is or suspecting it could possibly be, even if it's not, can I still move it and make a little money? So that's how I think about it. I like, you're always doing a risk assessment because, you know, nothing's always cut and dry, especially with the art stuff, because, you know, you're using a lot of judgment. You can't comp everything. You know, I comp a lot, but I don't believe in being a slave to comps. No, this one is most excellent. This is Gil Elfgreen. This is a print of one of his pinup girls from, you know, the 50s. Gil Elfgreen, absolutely amazing. A good amount of people probably you probably know of his work, and it's so beautifully done. Now they priced it at $30. Frankly, it's not bad to me. So after the coupon, I paid $24. This is such a cool piece. It's nicely framed. You know, it's very sellable. I love this kind of illustrative art from the 50s, pinup art. I love it. And it's part of the reason why I like a lot of vintage paperback art, because they have a lot of that, quote unquote, for the paperbacks, they use the abbreviation GGA, which is good girl art. Basically like nicely drawn women, which they used to sell the books, you know, appealing to standard, especially male demographic like me. So, but you know, it's collected by a lot of people actually. It's a lot of women like to collect those kind of pinup and kind of artwork and the paperbacks too. So it's always interesting how that stuff works out. I always like trying to see who are the collectors on these things, you know? And there's always interesting mixes sometimes, and sometimes it's counterintuitive even, you know? This is cool. I found this today. I wasn't even planning to go to White Dove. I got it at White Dove for $15. And, you know, I kind of had to pat myself on the back. No, but I knew of this artist because I'd found one of their catalogs. And they're kind of this like surrealist, Polish graphic designer, poster illustrator artist they did a lot of work, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, kind of around there, I want to say. And I love the Polish poster art. I've been learning more about it. And so this guy falls right into it. It's Rafał Oblinski. Paid $15 on this. Very reasonably priced. White Dove, if you're in Phoenix, it's awesome in my opinion. You can find a lot of cool stuff. Now it's more boutique-y than say Goodwill. Even though, you know, Goodwill will price up. But White Dove is a little more nicely curated in a sense. And sometimes, yeah, the prices are higher, but you can find really good things. This one I debated, but I just thought it's beautiful, and this is modern. It's minimalist. What is the dude's name? William Stafford. And there's kind of a what you call some kind of stamping or embossed signature, you know, stamp on there, and it's numbered. But it's just a beautiful piece, like decorative. It's nicely framed. I've seen, you know, some are fairly high priced of his work that's like this. Yeah, I couldn't find a lot of them. Like, this is contemporary. I'm saying this piece is from like 2017. You know what? I'd be happy to sell this for 100. I paid 25. But it's cool, and it's, you know, I like picking up stuff too that I like having it around. It's just neat. I'm always a little nervous because I'm stacking stuff. This is a cool one too. Oh, and I should say, man, today I met a hell of a character at White Dove. I mean, I'm a character, so you know, it's just it's not like I'm using that as an insult. Where there's so many characters in the reseller, thrifter kind of world, and this guy, I'm checking out this thing, and it looks like an antique, like iron, like Chinese like plaque, you know, and it's nicely framed. I'm like, oh, what is this thing? So, you know, I was taking the photos. I couldn't really find much info. I sent it to my buddy Wiley. He's not Wiley Coyote, but he's from China, and he teaches English and stuff, and he's super knowledgeable. I met him while thrifting. Like a lot of people, I just meet people, and it's fun because we all got the same you know, alignments in our interests. But Wiley, obviously he speaks Chinese, and he has a ton of knowledge on vintage and antique art, both Western and Chinese. So I forwarded it to him, and he's telling me, he got back to me eventually, and he's like, oh yeah, that's probably a replica, and this is what they will actually look like, with a bit more oxidization and stuff like this. And I'm like, oh, that's very cool to know. Anyways, that guy, I was telling you, who's a hell of a character at the White Dove, he just kind of blindly approaches me and just starts talking to me. And usually, you know, I'm kind of like, oh, let's just flow. Let's see what's up with this guy, you know? He's maybe like 60. And he's talking kind of just like a little unhinged, you know? So when he's first talking to me, I'm like, I don't know what to make of this guy, but let's see what his story is. Let's see what his deal is. And he starts telling me, I used to be a prison guard, all this stuff. I'm like, oh, okay, that must have been interesting. That must have been a pain in the ass kind of job, but hard work. He's like, yeah, it was. I was making good money though, and I was always like buying collectibles and art, and so I'm not. And then he starts telling me about some of the stuff he's picked up over the years. He goes to White Dove like every day, and I'm like, damn. This man has amassed an amazing collection based on what he was telling me, and he's got a lot of knowledge, but he was real quirky though too. I'm like, oh, that's so cool that you learned all that. He's like, oh, I don't like learning all these things. And I'm like, oh, that's weird. And he's like, and his son, he bought, this is it's just such a fun story, because I love the people you meet with this stuff. It's the people that make it interesting. The objects are cool, but the people is like, that's where it's at. And he's telling me, yeah, I bought like 3 like truckloads of Legos, you know, because he's telling me, oh yeah, I picked up some Legos, and his son's doing it. And I'm like, yeah. He's like, I don't want my son doing that. I'm like, why not? He's like, he's making money, but he wants his son to get a degree. His son's 40 years old. I'm like, well, if he's making it work with the Legos, who cares? I mean, I didn't say that. I'm just like, I don't know. I mean, but I was just imagining, holy shit, because he bought it from another person who, I don't know how the hell they got these Legos. There was some sort of chain of custody on those that was wacky as hell, but it was industrial scale size. And but they're still making money. His son's making money off the Legos. And I was just like, man, could you imagine that, like, you got like 3 truckloads of just Legos coming into your house? I'm like, I told him that's like nightmare fuel for me. I'm like, I already got enough stuff. I got enough problems. Okay, I got enough problems all over the place. I don't want Legos. But it's so fun hearing about it. Anyways, that's just I love that dude. He's a character. So this is a cool piece I found. up in Scottsdale at a Goodwill the other day, and not priced bad at all. Again, $10.50 after coupon. It's kind of, I'm thinking mid-century, kind of a modernist style, slightly abstract, kind of Diebenkorn, Richard Diebenkorn vibe on the landscape. And I think it's beautiful. I love those muted colors. It's got a lot of skill to it. It's signed Thomas Grace. Now, it's funny that I say that because there's this other reseller guy at the store where I went to where I got this. Hey, he's again one of my favorite people. He's really funny. He's maybe 60 as well. Super gregarious guy. And very knowledgeable. He does a lot of silverware, all this sort of stuff. I got no clue on that stuff, but and he does electronics and Lord knows what. He does a lot of stuff. And I show him this. I'm like, dude, isn't this amazing? He's like, oh, looks like something I could have painted. I'm like, oh, I get my hackles raised when it's like when people go to museums and they say, oh, I could have painted that Rothko, or my kid could have. It's like, you're a bullshitter. Anyways, so you see, I can get excited about things. But if we were laughing, I was busting his chops about it because I was like, no, you couldn't, and you didn't. So now these I picked up. This is another story on a dude I met. Now there was a guy. This is a Pinnacle Peak store, and he was looking at one of these. There's 3 of them I got, and so they had just been rolled out. These signed motocross things. And I was like, oh, I want to maybe look at those for my buddy Brian, because my buddy Brian's into this stuff. He's a collector, reseller kind of guy. And but I didn't want to be rude, because I saw he was already looking at one and he was kind of looking it up, and I didn't care if he's a reseller or not. I'm like, oh, well, there were still 2 other ones on the cart. So I asked him, hey, did you want these other ones on the cart? He's like, oh yeah, I kind of want to look at them maybe. And I think he appreciated that. I was trying to be respectful. You try and be nice. There's so many objects out there. Try and take care of people, especially if they look like they're interested in something. I don't care if they're going to make money. If they're trying to make money or not, I don't care. It's like, just be helpful for people. And anyways, we started talking, and then he ended up passing on them, and he's like, you should get them. They are worth money. And I'm like, well, I'm just going to get them from my buddy Brian. They were like $6 each. And, but this guy, probably, again, another dude who's probably around 60. And it turned out he was a reseller for a while. I think he still resells a little bit. But he started telling me all sorts of stuff. He's very good at what he does. You could just tell based on how he talked about the craft, and operating with it, you can just tell when people are good. So he was very good though. And maybe some of these dudes, I don't know these people, but these pictures look cool as hell, and they got real nice signatures on them. And I think my buddy Brian will appreciate it, but my buddy Brian, he's got a problem. Maybe it's a bit, I keep too much stuff too, but he really keeps too much stuff. And I'm like, Brian, you should keep trying to sell sometimes. But this guy, he started telling me all sorts of stuff. Here, let's go check out the uniforms and military stuff. And I'm like, oh, okay, cool. He's like, this. Like, no, because I don't know vintage military stuff that well. I mean, I know stuff that it hits me with a 2x4 in the face. Like, if I find a vintage Navy pea coat. From I can spot that, but that's very easy. But he was telling me about the uniforms, what to look for, blah blah blah, all the nuances, and that's just part of the fun of the skill that you build when you build knowledge on those things. So he knew outdoor wear very well, utility wear, and military stuff. So it's just very fun. He kind of schooled me on it, and I was like, dude, you don't have to tell me all your secrets now. But he was very nice. That's because I think sometimes when you're good at a thing, you're happy to share. It's kind of like, I actually had a couple buddies when I was going to start my YouTube channel. It's like, bro, I'm going to get 2 viewers on here. Who cares? Anyways, and even if I did get a lot of viewers, it wouldn't matter anyways to me. But they were like, are you going to give away secrets? I'm like, man, if people are motivated, they're going to learn one way or the other, whether it's through me or somebody else. Why wouldn't you want to try and teach people when also I have learned so much from other people that I watch? And I'm continuously learning from people, and it's fun. I enjoy it vicariously. I like seeing people's finds, and they're interested in it and they're passionate in it, even if it's not a subject I'm into. I watch video game guys, I don't really care about video game collecting, but I like seeing their passion and knowledge about it, you know? So, man, there's a lot of tangents, but I'm trying to tell you there's some fun stories in the people you meet with this stuff, because you never know who you're going to meet, and that's the fun part. Now, this one is by a guy named Haynes Hall. Just a nice, you know, like mid-century lithograph, floral. So this one basically paid $5 for. You know, you could sell that from anywhere between 50 to 100 probably, depending how fast you want to move it and all that. Now this piece I got also with the other one of those first pieces I showed, the large board, like Chinese like war scene. So the reason I say that is it's probably from the same collection, but this is just a lovely print with some little birdies. You know, I sure as hell don't know what those kind of birds are. I mean, you know, I have a hard enough time with the American birds. Louisiana heron, I've never heard of that thing. I sure as shit don't know what those are, but they're cool. It's very pretty. Again, I couldn't tell you much on it. I don't think the value is crazy, but the aesthetics are good, and that's what'll sell it, you know. So that's it for the art. I'll loop back and do some objects in just a little bit. All right, my friends, let's do the objects. So you remember how I said, maybe if you've been following very astutely my previous videos, that I wasn't going to pick up any like model toy cars anymore. Remember that? I lied. God damn it. God damn it. Why do I do this? But this was a cool... This was a cool one. It's some, what is it, 1955 Packard Caribbean. I mean, it's just cool. It's a little over $10. Maybe, again, sell between 50 and 100. You know, I'm still weak. Sometimes I got to work on that. This is cool. This is a Jim Shore piece. Jim Shore does a lot of the Disney, like, collectibles, figurines. This is a Dr. Mickey Mouse. Holy crap. You know how I'd feel if I went into my doctor's office and I saw Mickey Mouse, and he was going to be the one who was going to be taking care of my health? I mean, okay. Well, I won't lie, because he probably would be better than some of the dumbass doctors I've seen in my life. That's a whole other story. This is a cool piece, paid $20. And no disrespect to doctors, because there are many good ones. Just like any craft, there's people that are good, there's people that ain't that good. So this has some decent value. Maybe $100, I think. Oh yeah, this is cool. This is interesting. This is by an artist, I believe her name is Lynn Pippin, and I found some original drawings of hers a while back. So I need to research a little bit more on where she was from again. But look, this is on bone, and it's illustrated. I mean, that's cool as hell. You know, you got an arrowhead in there. This is the back. That's nice. Almost looks kind of Mexican, that stylization. And yeah, these weren't priced bad. This was like $7.50. And it's signed. Where? Oh yeah, it's signed over in here. These are cool. First, I didn't know what the hell they were. And there was 3 pieces. So this one I thought was maybe the lesser interesting one, because I tend to like it when there's some figurative stuff going on. Still cool. This is the smallest piece. And I can't, this one, it has a, and it's initialed. Right, am I showing it correctly? Where is it? Yeah, it's in there. Anyways, kind of hard to see. But it's still cool. You know, this one looks more like Pacific Northwest stylization. And this last one, this one's cool too. My favorite one was that first one though, with the buffalo and Native American figure on there. But this one also has a buffalo. Yeah, these are cool. And again, there's a little bit of that floral patterning on the other side. $7.50 for this one, and this one's also signed. Yeah. So these are in the 2010s, so they're not that old. This is 2014, I believe. So Lynn Pippin. So I'll have to research her a bit. Oh, and speaking of Jim Shore, I did find another piece. Oh, this is like a freaking miracle too. This dachshund, his tail is not broken. 98% of the time the tail's going to be broken. I mean, going through the grind of the thrift store and just life kicks the shit out of the arms, the snouts, but especially the tails. But yeah, isn't this cool? I mean, this like little pixelated dude. I mean, God damn it, I want to keep it. You know, and the price. Come on, man, I'll pay $4. That's amazing, Jim Shore. And funny enough, back before I was thrifting a lot, I was like, oh, I want to get some cool Disney figurines, like, you know, Uncle Scrooge and the Jim Shore ones. But I'm like, oh my God, these are like $300. And I'm like, that's not a like immediate need. So I didn't get those, thank God. Although they are cool. Now these, holy crap, these are heavy. I got these just the other day, yesterday. I believe these are Stifle. But I will have to say, like, attributed to Stifle. And I'm going to research them more before I make any wild claims. These cost about 12 each. A good deal, though. I really do think so. Even though I'm not a lamp connoisseur, I am working on my lamp knowledge. I'm getting better. 1960s, I would guess. I would just throw out that guess. And I will ask friends who have more knowledge than me and knowledge in all sorts of these things, and they will probably be able to help point me in the right directions too. There's another one. And this is mid-century for sure. Lamp, about $12 as well. Different store. This is at the Pinnacle Peak store where I met that guy who really knew the military stuff. It's got a dragon on there, you know. Very nice piece. And yeah, so if I paid about 12, what am I going to look to get on this? I don't have to research. You know, I wouldn't mind just getting $100. It's cool. It might be worth a little bit more than that. I saw a couple online, but I didn't like comp super in depth. But again, just strictly on style and that it's vintage and it's got a dragon, that's good. It's like tiger. Throw a tiger on something, you're generally going to do well. Whoops. Now, this is still kind of in object territory. I sent this, a photo of this to my mom. You know, she's like, yeah, that's so ugly. A Fendi bag. Now, the only thing on this one is it does have a mark on here, you know, light mark. But I think it's legit. And I was just like, Mom, you might hate it, but you're just jealous. So that's, and like, they didn't price it bad, man. 18, so after coupon, you know, looking towards 15, something like that. So, you know, even if it was fake, it's not a big deal. You know, it's not going to be a ruination. And you know, because I will say, those luxury handbags, they do very good fakes. And they can trick up even the people who are very good with doing the bags. So, yeah, they could probably trick me up pretty good. So, hopefully that one's legit. I think it is, though. This I got a white dove, too. This is Alebrije from style from Oaxaca. The Alebrije style is that very, like, pointillist, colorful style. And, you know, there's so many regional variations in Mexico. In terms of folk art and styles. Now, Oaxaca has a lot of tourists, you know, so there's a lot of money sloshing around, so they're probably cranking out a good amount of these, but this is signed at the bottom. And these are very collectible. And now, I did pay on this because it was a white dove. The list price was $120, but because wood objects were 25% off, I paid under $100. Now, there's still a lot of money, but it's a cool piece, and it should sell. And it's going to be cool to have it just around, you know. So the thing I have to be careful is to not break it, because that would piss me off. Let's see, there was one other one other object here I wanted to show. This is also a white dove pickup. This one cost $140. I spent a lot of money on white dove. This has been out for a bit. It had, the list price was $375 on it. It got marked down 50% plus the 25% off, which is how it got to $140. But it's an antique, I believe antique, and I can't tell you what part of the I think early 20th century Japanese, like cabinet jewelry box. It's missing the key, but it still opens, which is good. But it's got those cranes, and look at that metal. It's just really nice, So I think it should be good, I'm not too worried. I love stuff like this, and I will research it. That'll be part of my project, because you always learn through the objects you get. You can't know everything right away on something. So yeah, sometimes you'll make mistakes, and that's okay. Because if you build up your bankroll good enough, the mistakes won't be a big deal, and you make fewer of them overall. I think, it's like you work within objects of X amount, and the more comfort and skill you develop in those areas in your bankroll, that'll be like your safety net. Then you can roll up higher, and then work your way up if you want, because you can make money. You can make money through volume, lower value items. You can do it through the higher value items too. It's just a different ways to do it. I like the spectrum personally. So yeah, I'm gonna pause for now, and I will hop into clothing soon.